If there's been one question I've received the most since the reveal of Halo Infinite's campaign gameplay is, what do you think about it? Well, in this video, I'm going to give you my first impressions of what we can look forward to when it comes to Halo Infinite. So stay tuned throughout the whole video to understand all the details. How's it going, everybody? It's Kevin here once again, giving you another gameplay commentary. Today we're doing our first impressions of the Halo Infinite gameplay reveal, and it's been a long time coming, guys. If you saw my reaction video, which will be linked in the description of this, and yeah, I was a little excited about this, but now I've had time to process it, to think about it, to observe, look over this gameplay trailer more, trying to get all the nitty-gritty little details about what we can find about this whole thing. And this video, we're going to break it all down. So let's get right into it. So one thing I do want to mention is that I was finding this game just overall, like, visually still really fantastic. I've seen some criticisms on it, and we've made some videos talking about that as well previously. But this start screen right here. Now, this might not be the actual start screen for Halo Infinite, as most likely it's just like made for the demo itself. That would be very understandable for that. And this is the very beginning of the game, guys. I love like the brightness of the color of it, but it's not overly saturated, but it's vibrant, it's lively. I love that about this game, where it seems like it's, like I said, but it's very bright and lively, but also somewhat realistic as well, which is very important to see. This next section here in the trailer I really liked is when the Chief wakes up the pilot, and the pilot is just pissed. He is not happy with Chief, which is something we normally haven't really ever seen before with a Halo game. Usually everyone's like, yes, Chief, we will go off and complete the mission and everything's going to be great and you're going to save the galaxy once again. But the pilot's like, I can't stand you anymore. Like, I can imagine though, like, this guy's been at a drift for months out in space. Finally thinks he's going home, and Chief's like, no, we gotta land on the ring and do all the terrible things and kill all the terrible things. Like, I would be pissed too, to be honest. And the cool thing is, like, we noticed the cinematography of this does match what we saw in Discover Hope, which does match with the leak information that we did have when it comes to Halo Infinite copying the same kind of cinematic style of God of War 4, of having one single take for all the cinematics, which is really works out really well with flowing into the gameplay, which we do see in here. And guys, the door opens, the ring is there. This like screams Combat Evolved, where we crash landed in a Pelican on the ring, and we had to go out into the world and kill everything and just explore and just, get our mission accomplished. And we're doing just that, but 19 years later. Pretty freaking insane. And this is the first time we actually get a chance right here to jump in to see the actual gameplay. When I saw this, I literally squealed like a little girl. No joke. If you saw my reaction video, you understand what I'm talking about. And so we get a chance to finally see the gameplay in all its awesomeness. Now, one thing I do want to bring up here is how the the assault rifle did look rather plain, as we saw for Halo Reach's version of the same assault rifle, not the exact same, but like, this is the MA40, I think it's the MA38 or something like that. Essentially the same thing. That assault rifle had much more wear and tear, looked like it was actually used, where this one is very clean. People are even saying rubbery even. Though I do really like the detail of saying like the finger smudge prints on the ammo counter as well. You'll see it when they pan over the sky here in just a few seconds. Like, you can kind of see that detail that they go into, which is something really great to see, which they went into that kind of detail to showcase that, but not the detail to kind of show any kind of wear and tear on the weapon. That seems rather, I'm kind of iffy about that one. Now, one part I definitely need to talk about is obviously the different abilities your character has in this one. This one, for showing sprint, there's also clamber as well as slide returning as well. My opinion on sprinting in Halo is I don't mind it. Actually, Halo 5, I think, did a great job of implementing sprint in the Halo while also having some downsides to it, much better than it did in Halo 4 or Halo Reach. And so I'm kind of all for sprinting in this game, especially if it's going to be an open world. You might actually need to have sprint in the game for the game to function better, as you have to traverse these wide open spaces. Now, we did make a video talking about how it looks like the trailer might actually have better textures than the demo. Not guaranteed, confirmed, but some lighting does look better in this game than others. And that's one thing I would say, that the lighting does look a little could use some work actually. And this part I just do really want to bring up here as well. This is the part where I freaked out. I'm like, oh my god, it's open world Halo. Yes, it is. But as you can tell by these different sections, but it does kind of seem odd that they're kind of broken up like this. So maybe there's some way you have to like connect these pieces together in some way to create bridges or something like that. I don't know, I'm just kind of speculating at this point. Interesting thing, you got the TAC map, you have upgrades, and then database. Database most likely being a codex for Halo Infinite, which is going to be freaking awesome. We've never had a codex. Halo would definitely benefit from having a codex. I remember having it in Mass Effect 1. I learned so much about the game. It made me enjoy it so much more. Going to these different worlds, fighting against these different enemies, coming across these different forms of life. It's just so cool to have a database, be able to refer to stuff like that. Now, upgrades is kind of interesting. Are we going to like upgrade a character? I don't know. It's not really brought up. So you can also look in the bottom, you can set waypoints as well. You can view your missions, and it says right click into player. That probably goes in the first person view. One thing you definitely want to keep an eye on when going out of this menu, keep an eye on the lighting. As you might see, it kind of reloads right there. You see that? And we'll kind of go back to that real quick, like so you guys can see what I'm talking about. Again, we'll see that lighting, how it kind of like has to reload everything again, which obviously I think this might be kind of like rough ends of what we're seeing for the trailer itself, or the gameplay demo. Now, just over this ridge, I want you to pay attention to this ridge that's on the far distance in the middle. I'll point out here as well. So right here, you can kind of see we got some floating trees. And we'll have some geometry that kind of pops in as well. Obviously, when you're playing the game or when you're watching the trailer for the first time, you don't notice these kind of things. But when you kind of keep watching, you kind of start noticing these little flaws like this. You can see it pop in right here. Look at that, pops right into texture. Those textures pop right in. The geometry pops in actually. We have some pop-in clouds that come in later as well. I'll point this out when those come in throughout this video. And throughout watching this gameplay, I wasn't really able to tell if it was projectile or hit scan when it comes to your precision weapons. I do one thing I want to point out as well. As you watch this weapon right here, it has a outlined lighting around it, very much like we saw in Halo 5. I actually like that a lot. It just really helps kind of bring your eye to the whole thing. I really like the idea of this assault rifle, kind of like a heavy assault rifle, kind of like a Scar H is what people were calling it, which I can totally see why. Kind of a similar style to it as well. And it'd be kind of interesting to see how the heavy assault rifle plays against the regular assault rifle that we've come to know and love. Now, this portion I want you guys to keep an eye on is that the player deliberately shoots the legs in this situation to showcase this. Watch this. He starts stumbling right towards you once you shoot his legs off. Or not shoot his legs off, but like I think looks like you shoot his armor off maybe on his legs, and then he starts stumbling. Didn't take him out really easily. Now, we never really experienced anything like that previously when it comes to Halo. Mostly, if you shoot off their helmet or they lose their shields, they kind of go like this berserk mode kind of thing, which is what we've seen before. And with this game, we've never really had like any individual body pieces to shoot at, so that's kind of interesting to look at. I'm going to disable my cam real quick, just to show you guys this bottom portion right here. This is where the equipment location is going to pop up, and it looks like it's going to be, this is where it replaces like the grapple hook. Until this point, I'll go back a little second here so you guys can see what I'm talking about. You can see the grapple hook is the equipment, and as soon as he picks up this drop wall, it replaces the grapple hook. Now, when he drops the grapple hook or drop wall, then the grapple shot comes back as your ability. Now, this could mean that it could be like a ability that you have on you at all times during the campaign, and then if you pick up something new, then it gets replaced with some different kind of equipment, possibly. Or maybe some kind of loadout thing, we don't know. Now, we also have to talk about the slide ability coming back from Halo 5 being in Halo Infinite. Me, personally, I used it a ton, but mainly when I was trying to do like the boost slide maneuver in Halo 5. I never really used it a whole lot in game, as I felt like the distance that you travel on the slide isn't really that far. Your speed is slowed down dramatically, and I think it's maybe just kind of a fun addition that you can do in game if you want. But for the multiplayer side of things, I've always found it really ineffective in using, and most people don't bother using it too much. And so with it being back in the game, I'm like, sure, why not? Again, here's another section. Here's the section I want to talk about, guys, and showcase the pop-in clouds. Keep an eye on these clouds over here. As we go up this elevator, you can see those clouds kind of pop in. kind of interesting. And also just like the general flatness of the texturing of these pillars that we see as well. Again, that could just be Infinite's way of having such a large world but reducing resources on the system. That could definitely be the case. But it's just like you really see that they really kind of overuse this pillar look. As you can see, like we got over here just pillars, 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 and it kind of like takes away from the beauty of the environment that they've created with this. Like if you remember back in the Halo Infinite announcement trailer, we didn't have these pillars at all. It was just open ground you can traverse no problem. Obviously that was 2 years ago, so definitely things could change from then. And so, you know, that's kind of like one of the things I have concerns about. Am I like freaking out like, oh my god, this game's not even finished? No. Like there's plenty of time to work on this. This was probably done maybe around the end of May. This is definitely something that we're planning to show for E3, and it just didn't get shown because E3 was canceled. There's that brute, I should say, the banished Phantom. A lot of people have been kind of hating on that Phantom. I don't really mind it at all. Those, dude, the yeeted freaking grunts is freaking hilarious. I love it. You get to check it out right here. I thought it was just like a grunt who got hops, but look at that. The brute just yeets the freaking grunt out of the way. It's so hilarious. I love it. I love it. I love it. Now here's another thing we definitely need to talk about is the clamber ability is back in Halo Infinite from Halo 5. Now me personally, I don't mind the clamber ability. I thought it was kind of a cool thing to add to the game. Some people are really mad about it, saying it removes crouch jumping. I completely disagree with that from multiplayer side of things, because obviously when you're clambering, your weapon is down, and if you allow the game to have options for you to do crouch jumps as well instead, then why not have that ability in there as well? And again, with Halo Infinite, we've only seen the campaign. This is multiplayer will play out probably completely different, as well as with the Slipspace engine. You can modify it exactly how we want the game to play out as well. So don't be so close-minded, keep an open mind, and I don't think having clamber in the game is such a bad thing. You can see the Ravager and the Pulse carbine. The Ravager looks freaking amazing. Like, I just want to keep shoot. I want to shoot this gun now. Like, why can't I do that? I want to do it now. You know, I will say that one thing I did find that was kind of a little obstructive when it comes to the gameplay is that when your shields recharge, it's really obstructive. You'll see it here again. This part is actually my favorite section of the whole thing. I cannot stop looking at this. I'm going to be doing this the entire campaign. Grapple hooking a fusion coil to throw it at something. Like, that's hilariously awesome. Hilariously awesome. I am super excited about this. All right, guys. So now, taking some damage here. I'll show you again when he does actually recharge his shields. You'll see that shield flare signal again pop up. Okay, so I guess it doesn't show up when he's in a vehicle. That's kind of interesting. We have a different shotgun right here. Like, there's that shield flare again. Like, I feel like it's really blinding and obstructive. I mean, you can keep that look, that's fine, but maybe reduce it in half of how prevalent it is on the screen, because right now it's just like, it's a little much. Like, it's a little much. I want to scoot back just a little bit here to watch this brute over here. Watch him get shot in the back, and he reaches for his back right there. I really like that feature. I think that's awesome that they're showing that kind of detail when it comes to dealing damage to these characters. And so we can watch that shield flare again. Like, look how large these hexagonal shapes are. Like, if we went like half of this on the screen, you know, that would be much more beneficial, I feel. I don't mean to be like blinded every time my shields recharge. I think that's a little excessive. Again, that's something that could totally change with the gameplay of Halo Infinite, as the Slipspace engine has opened up so many different possibilities when it comes to updating this game and changing different aspects, so the community gets to enjoy the Halo game that they want to love as much as I do as well. Now the last part over here, we get a nice awesome dialogue from, I believe it's Escharum, I think is how you pronounce his name again. And dude, he's just like he's just like a solid villainy bad guy. You're like, well, I do like this guy though, because he's just like, Spartan, I want you to give me your best because I want to have a true champion fight, which is just like exactly what I want to see in a brute. I think it's like awesome chance, like, oh hell yeah, let's bring it on, dude. I'm ready for you. I want to take you on. Come at me, bro. Let's see what happens. Overall, guys, like, this thing is exciting. I am super excited about Halo Infinite moving forward. I can't wait to make more content and talk about this. I will definitely be uploading more and more and more content for you guys on this channel, so you get a chance to see all the awesomeness that Halo Infinite has to offer to us, guys. I am super excited about this. I cannot wait for this game to release. It's going to change my life. It's going to change all of our lives. So thank you so much for watching, guys. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to tap that like button, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Peace out.